Welcome to On the Shoulders of Giants, a giant robot power hour discussing mechs across media, their stories, and why we love them. I'm Alice, and I'm joined by Brian.
I'm once again thinking of humanity as vestigial to the advancement of cute robots.
And Nico.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, back to the daily grind. Yesterday I found out my farm, spouse, parent, my whole life was a fabricated lie. But I gotta process these public comments, so here I am.
It's time to get your A2 loadout, get in your Fuchikoma, and get ready to deploy, because this time, you thought I was a goner, didn't ya? Ghost in the Shell 2026, Episode 3 watch along. Let's launch into it! Hey pilots, Alice here. Not to be an anime heroine with you here in the break, but well, I called you back behind the school for a really important reason. It's just, I've been so happy spending all this time together, talking about mechs, watching giant robot anime, and building gunpla kits together. All those wonderful days, laughing at the silly plot of Price of Smiles, sharing G-Savior with our friends, and even when we all cried at Pacific Rim 2. I really cherish you, pilots, and that's why I can't keep this inside of me. I have to ask you a question. Okay, here goes. Will you please rate our podcast 5 stars? It really helps us with the algorithm. I mean, you can share with your friends too, or just post about it incessantly online. It would mean so much to me. Whew, glad I got that off my chest. Well, alright pilots, see you back in the episode.
Saw you clock that Alice said Fuchikoma instead of Fuchikoma in the intro.
Yes.
Saw your little eyebrows shoot up. And we're going to go ahead and continue. The editor respectfully retracts here.
The name of the episode, Junk Jungle 2, wrapping up last time. And we also get Megatech Machine 1 and 2 are worked in here. So again, we're just doing the manga. Megatech 1 and 2 are short chapters. Although I think they adapted the entirety of the text of Megatech Machine 1.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
This show is really finding its footing, I think. In my opinion, this is the best episode yet. This is the best handling of all the material and the time without feeling like just totally blindsiding me with everything. Yeah, it's good.
You know, I might have a different opinion.
You don't like this one?
Oh, you don't like this one. You don't care for this one.
Okay, we'll talk about it. But first, we gotta talk about a summary. I read the first one that I wrote. Nico read the second one that I wrote. Brian, you should read the third one that I wrote in the outline.
Yeah, we can do that.
You can do bits.
We pick up right where we left off with the Major in hot pursuit of a criminal named the Puppet Master. A hype scene fight ensues with Togusa catching strays, and Section 9 comes out on top again. They track back to the big man in charge and arrest 3 NPCs we've established during this arc. We then get a snapshot into the Fuchikoma AI in a test put on by the Major. Then we head to the shelling facility and learn how the shell is embodied as the Major's purple-haired GF gets a new shell. We end with some light lunch and existentialism. What time was it when you wrote this?
2 minutes ago. Alice is fighting for her life, listeners. You can't see her, but...
listeners won't understand this, but I've been in a hot pursuit with a criminal for like 30 minutes. I've run through so many markets, smashed so many buildings.
Okay.
I'm sweating under my suit right now. And it hurt because like I'm just wearing like this puffy jacket. This isn't anything.
And Nico and I have just been sitting sweatily in the jungle watching a guy. So
it's about the same thing.
I've been in my my Opticamo trench coat that I don't have any sort of hat situation. I'm just sort of half disguised.
Neck down.
I love Aramaki's fuck-ass trench coat.
We are in the chase. Okay, first off, this is a 3-minute fight scene choreographed by Bahi JD, who did the fights in the Reze arc movie for Chainsaw Man, as well as some work on Death Stranding and some other stuff. Dude does good animated fights. This shit rips.
It's totally fantastic. That like I have basically no notes. I love the way they sort of exaggerate the movements with it almost like, you watch it the first time and it kind of looks sloppy in places, and then you kind of realize that it's like that those like blobby bits are just this really exaggerated motion animation they're doing. And it just looks really cool. It feels like it weighs a lot. It has like a lot of kineticism to it. I just think it's basically perfect.
Yeah, it goes crazy. What also goes crazy is the little me noise that the Fuchikomas make as they fire rounds at a fleeing suspect.
Me when I'm a Fuchikoma shooting.
They're giving Edward from Cowboy Bebop in a way that is like really warm in my heart.
But yeah, I agree. The major in this sequence feels so weightless and then so heavy, like back to back to back. Because there's so many moments where she's just flying through the air, but then she lands on something and the impact is so crazy.
It's crazy.
You realize that wire
really
she used is insanely strong.
I also think it's really strong that we have so many. This scene has a lot of pressure on it because it is both a manga scene and also from the 95 movie, like frame for frame. Whereas the 95 movie, which I feel like more people are going to bring expectations to this scene from. Unlike the 95 movie, that doesn't end in like this badass camo fight or anything. It actually ends in a civilian hostage standoff, which gets kind of like goofy and
but
is
still threatening. Like
it's
I
weird.
thought they were gonna kill that woman.
They thread the needle, right? Because what they do, the tone leading up to the opening playing is like way more serious. Like obviously there's action and stuff and the Fuchikoma is going me, but like that last moment before the opening plays when it's in slow motion and the major's arm is being held by this woman and the guy has already shot one civilian and is taking aim at her and you're like, oh my God, I'm about to watch this woman take a bullet directly between the eyes due to circumstance. And then it plays the opening and then you come back and the major just dogs on Togusa and it's comedy scene. It was crazy to split it right there. I mean, it makes sense, but it was crazy.
Wet Cat Togusa is really just, she's just yelling at him, hey, I know you just almost crashed and died, you fleshy human. Get your shit together and catch up with me, is an insane thing to say when you're a full cyborg.
When Togusa runs up to this confrontation, he is taking it as seriously as it was before the opening played. Like, he is like, I've just got to kill this guy because he's about to either shoot the major or this civilian. And the major's the one having to go, I've had this shit on lockdown. Like, the one guy who died, RIP to that guy, but but like, I have this shit on lockdown. You're coming in way too hot. Is it because you care about me, you dweeb? And I just love the idea that the sign of being a rookie in Section 9 is that you take everything too seriously.
Yeah.
You take your hostage situations too seriously.
My last thought on this fight is something that I've noticed lately, and I kind of want to talk to you about. Have you noticed, and this is in films, and like a lot of newer anime, I'm specifically thinking of Smoking Cat, which is an anime of all time, but they've started to, things are framed a lot to be viewed in a vertical format if you were to cut off the sides. And I've noticed it a lot in more modern films, and now I'm starting to see it in anime. And in some parts of this fight, my thought was, oh, this is to be clipped for TikTok. I see. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I think it means you just have a strong focal point on the frame, but sometimes you forget the rest of a shot for it. And I did notice this, but I don't think that maybe that was the intention. I just think that that's where a camera eye and these things are going these days.
I think you brought a grim frame to this.
Yeah, because like I don't think about that, and so I did not pick up on that. But I do think it's interesting to keep in mind.
New fun thing for listeners, when you're watching a modern movie like, I don't know, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, please notice how some shots are framed with absolutely nothing outside of the vertical format.
Okay, hold on. Now you're losing me a little bit because I feel like The Odyssey is an example that's specifically definitionally outstanding because it was filmed with different cameras than any other movie ever, specifically for like one artistic thematic thing. You know what I mean?
That was a stretch. I'll give that.
But I mean, to split the difference, I mean, one thing that was noticeable when Mad Max Fury Road came out is everything was happening center frame, and that was a specific artistic choice. And I think it'll be interesting to see how filmmakers and animators in this case are going to balance going forward, either making that an intentional artistic choice to center things in the frame, one, as an artistic choice, and two, because it clips well, versus purposefully having things outside of that part of the frame. I do think that's interesting to think about.
Here's a better example. I think that's more modern is Obsession. I think I saw that entire movie clipped on shorts before I saw that film. And it just works very well with that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's probably a good point.
But hey, where are your girlfriends?
Well, one of them's in the shop. One of my girlfriends is in the shop.
One of them's
getting
in
a new
the
pussy put on.
shop. That's good.
New pussy fitting.
This scene's longer than in the manga. The confrontation with the exiled dictator. There's more interaction here than there is in the manga. How do you feel about this scene?
I think it's because they're doing that specific thing, right? Like with the water. I feel like we won't know what it is, I think, until we have the whole season in front of us, but they are doing a sub-story here.
I think that's exactly right. I totally agree. I think this is why I like this episode so much, was that this exchange clicked into place for me that they are going to do the Puppet Master over like a longer period of time by having this like random guy show up that is just another puppet that seems to have this like commanding authority. I do remember this from the manga, but it is I feel less like I have to have the whole picture in my head to understand what's going on in the episode now. So that really helped a lot. But yeah, I liked it for the most part.
No, I just want to say, I think, Brian, you brought it up before that in our Ghost in the Shell actual play we did with Ghost, we were actually playing these type of characters for a squad, and like we fit perfectly in here. When the Major was like, we could just take this cash, right? I was like, oh, that's Bert. Like, that's just, we literally were just playing these characters. And now I'm like, oh my god, I need our characters in this art style, and I've got to figure out how to do it because I don't have commission money, but it's like I need it.
You find an artist, we'll talk. Shout out to Bato, when he comes into the assault, is carrying an MG42.
Thank you.
Base choice.
Man, so much of the Major's job seems to be stopping cops from going full cop. Like, she stopped Togusa basically from turning off his body cam on that guy, and like she completely de-escalates, or like Arabaki and her completely de-escalate the situation happening when they arrest these 3 NPCs. Because, and then Bato just walks up. He really wanted to fuck some shit up. He misses the enrichment of shooting the Yakuza.
Bato's favorite thing, that's what I was going to say, is Bato's favorite thing is shooting a room full of people for sure. He was looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. I do have I'm going to do a Nico anecdote here, which is the reason I love the MG42 is because back when the original Half-Life came out, I'm activating a lot of millennial gamers right now. There were a couple of different spin-off games that started as mods, including Counter-Strike, but one of them was called Day of Defeat, which was the World War II one. And in it, they had the MG42, which is a belt-fed machine gun that has a very, very, very high RPM. And I would play a specific map, the D-Day map, and I would perch up and gun down GIs coming up the beach because it was so easy. It was like shooting ducks in a barrel.
An old style game troll camp?
Yeah. And in
Secrets
that one,
revealed?
you could camp while being a
clickbait?
sniper so easily. Oh yeah, I was rancid in those games.
I'm in a fucking behind a dune at Normandy screaming for the Germans to stop camping Spawn.
Anyway, any other thoughts on this Puppet Master arrest or this fight? Any of this? I just like this sequence. I like when the Major is hanging outside of the truck and talking with Togusa. Every frame is the cutest cartoon drawing ever, and then they go to a wild different art style. It's so fun.
It's really cool. I like how they go back and forth. I will say, I like the Major up to this point has only used a ghost key for like comedic effect. And again, as stated, to stop Togusa from fully going American Cop mode on that guy. But like she uses it to shut down the guy who was like maybe going to commit suicide.
Is a ghost key a thing you shoot in with a little gun? I always thought it was just like the specific string password, like your master password.
So here's my theory. I think it's something you have to have a connection to use, which is why the Major baited the guy into making a direct connection when she was doing the debrief with that minister. But then the whole squad, presumably because they're all linked to each other, are vulnerable to her using a ghost key. But then this guy she had to physically do. Like, that's my best guess.
I like it. We got the Tachikoma rave gif. I mean, the
quick,
Fuchikoma.
The two interrogation scenes kind of happen simultaneously. So they make this bus, they bring these guys in, and they're also debriefing the garbage man, which is when they drop a fact: only 2 successful cases of reversing a ghost hack. So that's just a fact we have. And then, the bit that I was riffing on in my opening, which is they sent this guy straight back to work after being ghost hacked. That man is collecting garbage the next day.
Yeah, basically. My other thing about the Puppet Master scene is that I just to shout this out, they are saying Puppet Master the way the 95 film says Puppet Master, which is Ningyo Tsukai, which literally means like puppet master in Japanese. There is a version of this word used in Solid State Society. I'm trying to find it right now. Kugutsu Mawashi, which is puppet spinner. And I just think those two things existing in the canon, their choice to use the former is just something to point out. I don't know that it has like any special significance, but
so much fun to pull from these different parts that we already have.
Yeah,
I love
right.
this.
Like it's so cool to think of all of Ghost in the Shell as a canon that you can pull from, including the manga, but like all of it. And I do think, to talk to both of your points that you've made about like we're getting more puppets. I like this because like we're told about the Puppet Master and we see some puppeteering, so to speak. But it isn't too long before the body is found on the road and we have it in the headquarters and everything. I would like, if we're going to play this out a little more, I would love to see even more puppets. Like, I think it's cool.
First off, Tachikomas can cry.
Well, Fuchikomas can cry.
Fuchikomas can...
Plebe.
Wait, Tachikomas cry oil, Fuchikomas cry real tears.
Yeah.
Actual water tears.
And that's a line that somebody can really build an outrun cyberpunk core track on YouTube around.
This is the other thing I think this episode does that I find really interesting and I think works really well is that it's deliberately pitting the very classic Fuchikoma start to stage of revolution that we find out it's a test by the major arc directly against the finding out about Shell's arc. Which is saying some really, really fun stuff about like personhood and like what it means to have a body and stuff like that. So, and also some of the best drawings in the show so far. So,
oh yeah.
I love any time a Fuchikoma is on screen. This was my favorite stuff. Well, it wasn't my favorite stuff, but it was one of the big highlights of Standalone Complex for me was the Tachikomas having scenes like this. I love it's a beach episode, but it's also an internal episode. And I do love that they're bullying the one Fuchikoma for suggesting revolution, and then they all wake up from like their Fuchikoma beach dream, and they all start bullying it immediately again.
I love when they shake their little butts, and they're doing that step and repeat of them shaking their little butts. Nico, the face isn't growing on you at all yet? You still don't like the face?
It's grown on me. It's grown on me specifically because of this scene, which is like my favorite scene with any of these, like with the Tachikomas, Fuchikomas. I really love these type of scenes.
Really like that they're making the Fuchikomas cats with the way they draw the mouth. They're just like, I love that also that they're just sleeping in a room together. That's just where we leave them in a pile, sleeping on each other.
Podcast. When we finish the podcast, our bodies collapse to the ground in the one room we're all in.
It's important that they have a space that feels like it's theirs that they can go to when it's time to sleep or they need to feel safe, okay?
Are you saying the Fuchikomas are kennel trained?
Yes. Kennel train your Fuchikomas.
I will say, so here's a diss, and this diss is aimed at Amazon.hell. Amazon's ass is barely translating the footnotes. Did y'all have trouble with this?
Oh, I did, yes.
Dense paragraphs at the bottoms of so many of these shots.
We would love to hear these, please, listeners, if you have a way to do this for us. I really want to know.
I can get them for you.
Oh, are they just from the manga?
Because they're just right here in this book. They are one for one.
We come from a heritage of illegal fan subs where those MFers would not translate Keikaku, but they would give you a paragraph-sized translator's note at the top. But also, if there were signs on screen and stuff, there would be text like near it that translated it. And so you could pause and read it if your heart so desired. And Amazon cannot meet free fan subbers from the 90s. It cannot meet that standard, which is not shocking, but it's still disappointing.
Well, free fan subbers now, because I will say, spoiler alert, I torrented a copy of this to take screenshots. And the text did have the offset subtitles. The subtitlers already hit this.
The real heroes of anime.
If anything,
So
fan subs are in a better place because they stopped doing that thing where they gave it they gave all the text like a 3-inch stroke and put like a glitter effect on it. Do you know what I'm talking about? We've kind of stopped doing that.
I want them to bring it back though.
I started rewatching Read or Die the TV, and all the subtitles are like that.
Yeah,
it's really nostalgic.
It's great. I like this. A highlight for me: Fuchikoma's driving on the sand. Didn't have to be that well sound designed. That was nice.
I'm imagining the person in the Foley studio like, "Oh, here we go."
yeah. My small note here is Bato describes the special oil, a serious staple as we all know for the Fuchikomas, as being scented in a weird way.
Okay, guess what's that scent?
Oh, it's got to be like
Bato's picking it. He's at the store. He's looking at all the different scents he can get for his car that he's going to put on a Fuchikoma.
Coconut?
Oh, it's got to be coconut because they're having a beach vacation.
He would.
They
They're
are
having a
they
beach
are
vacation.
living in a tropical vacation at all times.
Yeah.
But I do like this as a detail because before the emphasis was on it's a natural oil, but I like this as Bato is talking to his Zoomer cousins, and he's like, how am I going to make this appeal to them? Well, it's really luxurious. It has a scent. Maybe it smells like Dubai chocolate.
Oh my god.
It smells like pistachio, kids. I love this whole scene where Bato is talking to the Fuchikoma, his baby, about God and existence and the conception of the self. And it's so funny because there's this little throwaway animation of the Fuchikoma finding a cicada shell and just yeeting it. And it means nothing except then they immediately cut to the shelling stuff. It's really good.
It's so fun. Oh, that cut was
such a detail.
I love the read of these lines too. Like in the manga, this is one page, Bato and this Fuchikoma, and this just they put the weight where it's fun and it's enjoyable. I liked it.
This Japanese voice actor for Bato is doing a really good job too, because one of the affectations you can fall into in this franchise is when we're having these conversations about selfhood and like personhood and stuff. And the Japanese voice actor for Kusanagi will also do this later, is that they're having characterful emoting during these like monologues. Whereas sometimes in some of the other stuff, it can really feel like the actors have too much to say in front of them. And so they're just kind of like, melting quote. Like it's hard for them to like get it all together, you know? And this
we all
really
remember
feels
Ghost in
smoother
the Shell
with that.
2 Innocence.
Yes, that was different because that was just Oshii like publicly stating he didn't want to write a whole script. So
that was Oshii on AZ quotes.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, sexy nurses are back. The minute I saw them in the trailer when it came out, I said, cannot wait for the shelling scene.
I know. I literally was like, Alice is popping off right now.
No, okay,
really
they made her even more of a freak than she is in the manga. Redhead. It's great. It's good.
What is that thing? Oh God. They give her a full like Agahao moment. That was when I was like, oh, Alice is popping off. Where she's just like leering over the body and like drooling.
Yeah.
I made a note here that I'm like, you know how there's a railfan filter to keep diehard train fanatics from getting rail jobs? Like, that's a known thing. They filter.
I did not know that.
Hyper.
No, they do that.
They have the opposite going for the shelling employees. They want freaks only. Like, how do you get this person? This had to have come up in the interview. And then, I think that's how they justify the uniforms, because it's like, you could be as freaky as you want, but you do have to wear this, so...
Well, because like in the manga and in this, it's not very clear where this is happening, but they're like, these are legally obtained parts. This is all legal. We're doing legal things. But it's like, is this just like Section 9's little freak outfit that does all of the modding and stuff? Like, pretty great.
No, the implication I got from... because the major is talking to the guy at one point, or the redhead, one of the two techs that she predominantly talks to, about the fact that apparently 17 shells went missing from a private facility recently. And so she's like, because the nurse is given the whole spiel. Oh, we're a super, legit facility. Everything's certified, like you were saying. And the major's like, yeah, so what was up with the 17 bodies that just vanished? And the nurse is like, can we talk about something else?
That was good. I like, first off, the reason that I knew this was the exact same text is because they talk about the hair and fingernails, and it's 1 for 1 what it is in the manga, because I remember that being such like a... Honestly, okay, if you hadn't seen the manga, this is such a great, like, hey, you've always wanted answers on how they make shells and what parts are done what ways. We're literally just telling you this time. And it's a blue man from Star Trek doing it.
That is one of the standout things in the manga is the we talked about it like this, just like whole chapter of these incredibly intricate, detailed, like anatomical drawings of all these cyborgs, all these like Alice was saying, like, this is how we do skin color. This is how we do.
Yeah.
This is how a cyborg can blush. This is how a cyborg can taste. This is how a cyborg can grow new fingernails.
There's even like some like old head like hint of discourse, because the tech is like, yeah, they now do lips, eyelashes, eyebrows, and everything in the dip, or as opposed to being like hand done. My artist's heart is like breaking. Like, she complains about automation of, like, the artistic and technical details of the face, which is an interesting little detail.
And they talk a little bit, too, about the shells as products, because they talk about how people have stolen old ones before. Yeah, and that's when we get my favorite robot in this episode, the little tiny green security robot that's walking around in the background. I love him.
Good. I love it so much. Security robot, I'm free on Thursday.
He is amazing. He what does he say when he's staring? He's
like, who are you? He's like, who are you then?
Oh, and then at some point he starts just doing the stare sound effect, and they translate it on screen as just like skeptical staring or whatever, or like suspicious staring. But he's just saying, gee. He's just going stare, which is really great. One thing I like about this, so we're doing a bit of TNA again, but I think that this is interesting because we're talking about, like you said, the shell as a product. One of the things that the tech gets into when they're like putting the started armature into the mold where they're going to pour the rest of the soft material of the body is, she says specifically, female shells are made of more soft materials. So literally getting into the dynamics of like what gender is expected to be made of what literal materials. And she also says that if she were at liberty to pick, her shell would be really weird. And I really liked that because it throws an interesting wrench into the why are the nurses dressed like that? Apparently this is a work uniform, because if she had her druthers, she would be on some freak shit. And that's really interesting to me, and that helped me kind of think about the scene. Again, this series is like doing things that are on the face like, okay, we're doing comedy TNA. And then it's complicating things a little bit in a way that it's like, it's almost like they see me over here leaning in with my mean little pencil, and they're like, bitch, we're still thinking about transhumanism. Don't you think for a second we're not thinking about transhumanism? I'm like, you got me. You got me. So
they have that shit on lock.
Yeah,
no, it's a good thought. I have one other thought about that, which is on Behind the Voice Actors, the premium website to find out who voice acts stuff. These are listed as Kusanagi's friend, parentheses, short hair, and Kusanagi friend, parentheses, long hair, which I think is just great. But
Behind the Voice Actors will say they were good friends.
Right. Short hair is voiced by Emmy Lowe, who is like the MVP. She did Mau Mau from the Apothecary Diaries for the English version. I'm just stoked on that. That's it. She does good in it. All of the amount of gifts that have just come from this show give me such joy. She pants like a dog.
The kind of last scene we have here is the throuple date, and I just want to say I think one of the more interesting, like, minute characterizations of Kusanagi we get in this show that no other show has is that she is basically a Michael Mann detective, in that she doesn't spend enough time with any of her wives, and they think she's kind of a deadbeat. And I think like that part of it really, really reads well. My favorite, what's your guys' favorite girlfriend? Mine's the one with the long hair. I like the long hair one that's eating all the ice cream.
Mine's the short hair one. I love a freak.
I have to stan Motoko, who is literally like in the dictionary definition next to scaring the hose. She harshed the vibe so bad.
She did.
When you're dating Major Kusanagi and every now and then she drops deep philosophical thoughts on about her humanity and how many brain cells would remain of her to still be her, and they literally animate snow icing over this date, and it's just the funniest shit in the world.
Yeah, literally. I'm going to say this is a firm statement for the podcast. Motoko Kusanagi would be giving you the strap, and you would be like, that feels so good, and she would be like, but are you really feeling it?
Yes.
And you'd be like, come on!
Crying while getting fisted by my girlfriend Kusanagi.
Can you stop? Can you lock in?
I also want to talk about this because we are calling this a date, but earlier, how did the Togasa and a Major, was that even flirting? He seemed like a little giddy about it. Am I reading that wrong?
What? When?
Well, yeah, because they're debriefing basically after all the shit goes down, and the Major is basically going, I had it all on lock, you're fucking stupid, don't shoot people in the head, we need to interrogate them. And he's going, they're just gonna plea out, like, blah, 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 whatever. They're having their cop discussion. There is a little bit of a vibe,
and she says, thanks for thinking
just
of me, basically. Like, you didn't have to worry about that, but, because he's like, I was worried about you, not the hostage. And she's like, you shouldn't, we're cops, but also, thanks. And he's like,
I also think it's kind of funny that, like, she calls it out because they're cops and they're, like, doing their job. But I also think it's funny because, like, we know Togasa is, like, the least cyberized person. So, like, he is treating the Major like a person who will, like, not be able to take a bullet in a way that the Major can definitely take a bullet. And I think that's interesting. I think that's why she was ribbing him and saying, "Oh, you really thought I was gonna die?"
Yeah,
huh?
I think she was mostly just
so
embarrassing him. I don't know that I would read the.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think he was maybe just giddy about, like, oh, we're building a rapport. But, you know, I mean, you could read it that way. It's the 80s. Men love to cheat on their wives. I don't like to think it because I'm a Togasa stan, but, you know.
I'm rooting for Togasa. I'm hoping he gets his moment of competency in
one
this.
singular W this season would feed me for 1,000 years.
He's the one who catches the puppet master.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm living for the moment. We have another end illustration here by Kunio Okawara. So you may know this person as the mech designer for fucking everything that matters. Sorry, this was the mechanical designer for fucking 0079 and, like, everything else, like for Zeta, for Double Zeta, like fingerprints all over, and did a wonderful little Fuchikoma for us at the end. It was lovely.
This is the part of these, what would you call this? Not a legacy project, a vanity project or something? No, that's not it.
Yeah, Vanity's got the wrong way, but it's like, I don't know, it's heir to
Those
a
TV
lot
shows
of...
that are big. I'm bad at words.
I'm not sure.
Anyway.
But I get what you mean. It's like, it's heir to a lot of, like, really good artists and designers who have a lot of affection for it. So it kind of benefits from that.
Yeah. We have a couple questions to wrap up this episode. Were there any mechs in this episode? Yes. This was a heavy Fuchikoma episode. I'm also considering the shelling scene. There's a lot of mechs here. Do we think there was a guy in that green dude?
It doesn't matter. He's a mech to me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because he's my best boy.
Yeah.
He's my sweet cheese and my rotten soldier.
Second question, how much was the Major a gremlin?
Okay, plus points for her teasing Togus at the beginning because she does like a little cute, like, did you worry about me? Meow thing.
Plus points for wanting the briefcase full of money.
But minus a drastic amount of points, I think, for having a full sort of derealization episode at the end. And like that's not a value judgment against Kusanagi. I think it's a pivotal part of Kusanagi's character throughout all of the shows. But it is not gremlin behavior.
True.
That's wayward woman behavior. That's the other. But Kusanagi exists on a spectrum from gremlin to contemplative kobold, vagrant.
I do think it's interesting because it implies a depth that I think has just been put front and center in every other. Like, the Major has always had a note of melancholy in previous installments. In this, we're getting her energy first. And then I like that it's like, it lets the melancholy almost like peek through. And you're like, oh, to what extent, how much of her brain span is spent on being a gremlin versus being the contemplative kobold? Like, it asks
Is she
questions.
just going crazy because she thinks about this too much and that's why she's lashing
Is that
out
why
as a
she's
gremlin?
fucking all the time? Like, our unnamed friend of the pod who says that he talks
Can't do
so that he
drugs
can
anymore.
forget his most embarrassing memories.
Is it a deflection? Yeah, that's a good question. And I think one of the things that I'm excited to look at if the show can manage to get there is when she stops being the iconographic Major that the rest of the franchise sees her and starts being all these other people and other identities. And that's that.
Yeah,
like,
when the swapping starts, I can't wait.
Yeah,
That happens in
So-
Volume 1.
that happens. I believe in Volume 1 she spends some time as a rectangle, and that's like one of the big.
That
That's
would
like the
fix
end of the
me.
Puppet Master arc.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is correct. If they did, honestly, I've been thinking about this because I did like flip through and read it again because of the show. If we do any of the, if they can capture the fucked up pages of the net dive with the Puppet Master at the end of Volume 1, I cannot wait.
I'm very curious.
I don't know if you guys remember the shit they were pulling.
Yeah, it looks like fucking Junji Ito shit. I need it.
We gotta write these goddamn mechs. So we're doing an episode by episode rating to kind of get a graph. I'm gonna say it for me. I'm back up to a 10.
Okay.
That one shelling sequence gave me everything I wanted in Mecha. I loved that.
You said you were kind of down on this episode, though. That didn't have anything to do with that?
Don't care about the episode. Love the mechs.
Oh, okay, got it.
I'm down on the episode as a whole because of pacing and my thoughts on how they're using some time.
Okay.
Meanwhile, me and Brian are like, whoa, breathing.
Yeah.
It's breathing in the wrong moments is my thought and probably what I'm going to take away from this show.
Okay.
Anyway, Brian, what about
what's
you?
your vibe?
Hear these goddamn mechs.
I am still at a 10. I mean, they shook their little butts in this one.
They even, I like when that gif, the Fuchikoma RGB neon cat gif.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nico, what about you?
Yeah, we're at the 10 plateau. Oh no. they've kind of leveled off at a level of just pure enjoyment for me.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe they've done this. Like, yeah, sorry, it's fantastic.
I can't believe they've done this.
The only thing we didn't get in this episode was Togusa not having airbags, which should be in every episode. But
He should get his shit fucked up each and every time.
every episode he needs to have a head-on collision.
He needs to have like a Kenny South Park like metaphysical.
Yeah.
I die
He
every
died,
20
but he's
minutes.
okay, but he died.
He's so good. Well, okay. Any final thoughts on this episode before we close it out, guys? Wait. And that's this episode of On the Shoulders of Giants. We discussed episode 3 of the show. Any parting thoughts, you two?
Go Ghost by King Yu will be out in full on streaming on July 29th. Those of us who've been on I don't want to just listen to 1 minute and 30 seconds of a song watch, like, take heart. Like, next week, we're going to be delivered. Next week, Wednesday, we're going to be delivered. Also, Vince Staples dropped an album. That's not related to the Ghost in the Shell. It's just good, and you should listen to it. I was checking my Discover feed. It's good.
Oh, you know what? Okay, here's my final thought. Sorry, we're doing final thoughts that actually have nothing to do with the episode. The third episode of Cars Don't Fly, which is on Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, is on OSG's main feed right now for free. You can listen to that episode for free for a limited time. You should go do that and then subscribe for $1 to get the rest of it. That's it. That's all I have.
Okay, concept.
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, everything is the same, but everybody else is driving Tachikomas when they're drifting, and the American boy gets an old Fuchikoma out of a garage.
Okay. Okay, I came around on it when I heard that part. I came around. No, he's got to have a fucked up American six-pen.
Yeah. It's got to be one of those, like, really blocky scorpion-looking ones, and he's like, I can drift this.
You some kind of Ningyo Zukai?
My final thought for this episode is cosplaying this show is going to be easy because I already own one of the costumes. Thanks for listening, pilots on the show. You can send those thoughts to us at questions@osgpod.com, and non-pilots can send general questions or feedback to the same address. You can also catch up with us on social media. Link is in the description for updates and more. You'll find a link to the show Discord there. Come and discuss this show. We've been having some fun conversations.
And frantically scream at each other if you're working on your locked-in jam thing, because we've been huffing the copium in the Discord. We've been grabbing each other's shoulders and screaming.
I need to
very
finish
important.
my shit.
Oh yeah. We are all like, oh god, there's a WIP that we should be working on.
I feel like as the CEO, I can't participate, so I can become impartial.
You're a fake ass bitch. I put it on and I'm doing it.
Damn.
Alice, you have to do a cosplay now for the locked-in
And
challenge.
the woman was too stunned to speak.
Yeah, I silenced a woman's voice, it must be said.
Make sure to check back next week for episode 4. Goodbye. I love you.
Goodbye, I love you.
And it could be any of Alice's outfits. You just don't know.
Alice has the gold, like, sorry thing she was wearing at the end, just randomly.